John, I look at the world, trained as a scientist. What I see is what I think is real. Then, when I began to read philosophy, I see some philosophers tell me that, well, what I'm seeing is not what's really out there. I'm seeing what I can perceive through my sense organs and through my evolutionary, determined analytical capabilities. And then I think, well, maybe that's right. And so we have this approach of realism, what's really out there. Can we ever approach that? Or can we never have any idea what reality is because we're always interpreting it via a very uncertain system?
I think one thing to get straight about is the fact that we're limited creatures, of course, might make it that we can't grasp all the truths. But I think what you're really asking is whether we can grasp any truths. Is that what you're asking?
Well,
what are you asking?
I would say truths. The truth that I am understanding, what I'm seeing and interpreting, I can understand that truth. The question is whether that truth is really the same truth that's out there. Because I really do think this is a room that's colored brown. But is it? How can I know that? And if I can't know that,
so there's one question. View. I mean, we don't want to lump too many questions together. There's the question, how do you know it? And then, well, might I be dreaming and so I don't know it? Even if there is a room, I don't know there's a room. But I don't think you're really asking right now about the knowledge end of things. I think what troubles me is I'm not really sure what you're asking in addition to the question, is there a room?
I believe there's a room because...
So let's agree there's a room. Now, what's the extra question?
I didn't agree there's a room. Okay. I agree that I think there's a room based on all the sensory information that I have. But I can't know for sure that's a room because I'm not in touch with the ultimate reality of the room. I'm mediated by my sense organs and mediated by the interpretation of those inputs by an evolutionary, which might be an accidental evolutionary brain.
You're mediated by systems that then generate certain views in you about how the world is. But I'm not hearing a general argument that the world might not be as those systems say.
Right. I can't give you an argument that it's not, but I'm saying you're not giving me an argument that there is.
But if you go skeptical and just start worrying about whether, you're inventing a room in your head and there is no room, I mean, there's nothing that I can do to force you to concede that there is a room. But is there any good reason to think that our senses are actually filtering in a way that produces delusions?
Well, on whom does the burden of proof fall? I don't know. I used to think that...
Well, I don't have to prove anything to you. I mean, maybe there's no burden of proof. Maybe there are some things we know without having some proof that would satisfy a skeptic.
So you think that the room that you see is the room that really exists?
I think there's a room. You think you're adding these extra questions. I'm just asking whether there's a room. I think once you concede there's a room, there's not some extra question whether there is really a room.
But when you say there is a room...
I'm saying what I think. Right. I think you think that too. Maybe you don't think there's a room. I don't know. I'd be a little worried if you didn't.
Right. Yeah. So, but can you be totally sure that what you're seeing is reality? I mean, if you had some brain deficiency or some chemical deficiency, you'd see the room rotating, or you'd see the room twisting, you'd see the room in a different color. If you took LSD, you'd see the room melt.
Right. So all you're really getting at is something that one can't escape from. One can generate certain kinds of self-doubts. You can tell yourself a story where, hey, maybe it looks like there's a room, but the world isn't like that. There isn't a room. Well, it's certainly it's certainly true that we can generate doubts like that. And it's certainly true that philosophy isn't going to be a pill that provide some surefire way for making those doubts go away. I mean, at a very mundane level, you leave a place, you worry maybe that you've suddenly have doubts about whether you turn the coffee off. It's not like philosophy is going to make those doubts go away. It's just, you think that this is somehow much deeper, but it's just more of the same. Like you're suddenly worrying, hey, maybe my eyes are making me think there's a room, but there isn't a room. Well, I mean, that's a doubt that you can generate, and there's no surefire way for philosophy to make that doubt go away any more than it can make doubts about whether you turn the coffee. That doesn't mean that there isn't a room. It doesn't mean that you've got some good argument that there isn't a room. It doesn't mean you've got some good argument that your eyes are deceiving you. All that you're really doing is generating doubts for which neither philosophy nor science or anything else is a surefire pill for making the doubts go away.